Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the fuse so I can bring bad news to all these crews who can't NBA jam with the shoe.
Hey everybody, welcome back to a quick beer review. Another old school shelf beer review. I posted the Two Hearted review that we did to celebrate our 8-year anniversary on YouTube. And there are multiple comments, people saying, hey, you should start revisiting older beers. Or go, start drinking some more shelf beers, go back to old school beers, blah, blah, blah. So that sounded like a fun idea to me. So I was at the store today after golfing and I saw this beer, and I've had this beer exactly one time in my life. Distro was always weird here for this brewery too. And the last time I had it was 2014. So it's been 8 years since I've had it. From Oskar Blues, Dale's Pale Ale, in a 19.3 ounce stovepipe can. Is that what they call them? Stovepipe? This is a per the label American Pale Ale, 6.5% alcohol by volume. Oskar Blues is in Colorado, right? Longmont, Colorado. Oh, wait. Wow, it's all over the place now. Longmont, Colorado, North Carolina, and Austin, Texas. Did Oskar Blues get bought out by somebody? Is that true? Is that right? Am I saying that right? I don't know if they did or not, but yeah. So I don't drink a lot of Oskar Blues because the distro is weird and we rarely see their beer fresh. This is decently fresh, a little bit fresher than the Two Hearted can I found. This was canned on May 20, I think it's May 28th. So today's July 16th. So what, 6.5 weeks? Fresh enough. So yeah. We're going to start reviewing, we're going to go back to old school shelf beers. Let's do it. Why not? Yeah, so I had this beer, like I said, I checked my Untappd. I didn't think I'd ever had this beer, but I looked at Untappd. I did have it in 2014. So yeah, that app is good for something. It shows me that I had this beer 8 years ago. So, ooh, this beer is like dark copper. Yeah, it's like rich copper color. There's some good carbonation. There's a finger of, what is that, like an eggshell head? Tight, compact bubbles. It is clear. There's a chill haze, but it is crystal clear. God bless clear beer. I'm trying to get you guys on the clear beer train. I mean, hazy beer, we've had enough of it. Let's get back to the classics. Let's shove our fat nose in. I have no clue what this is hopped with. Like I said, I've had this beer once in my life, so. Again, this one, it smells like beer to me. This has a good amount of hops. This is really floral to me. This is floral, and it's like that kind of, much like Two Hearted. It has this rich maltiness to it. This almost is like Celebration. It has like that brown bread. Yeah, like crusty bread. It's floral, and it's got like maybe, it might be like pine. Is it pine needle? And maybe like a little bit of like grapefruit zest. But yeah, this is big and rich and malty, smells like beer. It doesn't really go, last night when we were drinking the Two Hearted, I talked about like it was kind of like cereal-y. Like the best way that I describe that is like smelling Cheerios, or like there's a couple breweries right by my office, and when they're brewing, you can smell like grain. That's kind of like what that smelled like. This is more of like a rich, like toasted brown bread. Yeah, and it's floral. I don't get a whole lot like, I mean, like it might be like a little pine cone-ish, but it doesn't smell super hoppy like actual hops. Floral and malty. It smells awesome. Again, 85 degrees today. This smells like it's going to be thirst quenching. Cheers. I think this is one of the first, was this one of the first canned IPAs? Or pale ales, not IPAs. I think they started canning this like, it was either late 90s or early 2000s maybe. Not one of the first, but like one of the original ones. I don't know, whatever. I think all the beers were like in bottles prior to, I think this was one of the first like canned beers. This beer is really fucking good. It is. It is refreshing. Every bit of the toasted rich brown bread maltiness that you smell, you taste. It's delicious. This gives me a lot of that Celebration vibe. Not as hop forward and not as sprucey pine coney, but there's a nice, like I was saying, you could smell like grapefruit zest. There's a little bit of like pithy grapefruit in the middle of your palate on the finish, but it's not like aggressively hoppy. It's not offensive. It's not crazy over the top bitter, but there's a nice just bitterness that just kind of works well with that just rich, I know I keep saying rich brown bread, but that's what that is. If you've ever baked bread or smelled that, you know, brown bread in the oven, like it just smells, I fucking love the smell of bread, especially freshly baked bread. I'm a sourdough bread guy. I fucking love sourdough bread. This beer is hitting the spot for me in that aspect. This is something that if someone was trying to get into craft beer, like they just drank light beer, I think this would be a good like starting point for them, because it's not offensive, it's not over the top hoppy, it's not over the top bitter, but it still gives you like that it tastes like beer aspect that someone who maybe drinks light beer, like light macro beer, would be used to. Again, this is nothing that's going to blow your mind. It's nothing earth-shattering. It's just a well-made, well-balanced, easy drinking 6.5% beer. I mean, you're not going to get shit hammered drinking these unless you drink like 10 of them, which I probably could, like, especially in warm weather like this. It's, like I said, it's very thirst quenching, very refreshing. It's just a solid, easy drinking beer. So I'm glad I found this and drank it. I mean, I don't know. It's almost 2 months. Like, does this drink different when it's really, really fresh? Maybe it might be a tad more, like it smells much more floral than it tastes. Maybe it's a tad hoppier on your palate, but I think this is great like this. It doesn't need anything. Good stuff. So that is Dale's Pale Ale. Who's Dale? You guys know? I'm sure you guys know. Was he part of Oskar Blues? It's good stuff from Oskar Blues. So if you guys are fans, let me know. Let's talk about it. If anybody has any suggestions on like old school, you know, OG beers that we were drinking 8-10 years ago that you'd like to see me revisit, drop a comment and I'll see if I can find it. I found another can like this of what is it, Sierra Nevada Atomic Torpedo, is that what it's called? I haven't had that beer in forever either. I grabbed it. It was like, I think 5 weeks old, so we're gonna review that next. So yeah, that's it. I'm out here. See you guys soon. Cheers.
Thank you for coming behind the bar, in the arcade, all that shit.
Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the fuse so I can bring bad news to all these crews who can't NBA jam with the shoe.